G'day,
G'day, everyone.
everyone. Looks like we've got a fair few people in already. Oh, how are you, Blake? That was a bit of a rush around.
That's all right. I literally just got in, and here we are. So that's okay. We're kicking goals today. There we go.
Oh, how have
Let
you
me know if
been?
you can hear me and all that, because Wi-Fi has been a bit
Yeah,
of a drama on these Sundays.
I was actually stressing about the Wi-Fi. So my Wi-Fi controller is actually in the eave of my house,
Right.
and we had crazy rain last night, and I was
Oh.
worried the gutters were going to overflow. But
That would happen the day before a stream. Always
yeah,
the day before.
where the cable comes through the eave, I like siliconed around the hole. So I don't know if the water could get down, but it scares me because it's like quite an expensive Wi-Fi dongle.
Nice. Looks like we've
Hashtag
got a
guppies, where have we come from?
bit of a raid
Oh,
happening here.
Fish Room Fever's brought some people across.
Nice. G'day, Jimbo and Chewy and everybody else who said hello. Hope you're having a lovely Saturday/Sunday.
So yeah, what's been happening, Blake?
A lot actually. I made 3 videos yesterday. I was very productive. My one today is kind of funny. There's a touch of clickbait about it, but it's ordering from Uber Fish. I got a home delivery.
I'll have to have a look at that one. As you might have noticed, I failed at doing any videos yesterday.
I thought
I had a frustrating day.
Wasn't that the one that it was raining and the ply tanks weren't happening?
Yeah.
Was that you?
Yeah.
Oh, so it did have a video, just not the one that was planned.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. There's a lot of people starting to get finger pointy about your ply tanks. We all want to see that room finished off.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do it a different way, I think, because the rain's gonna set in from now on. I think
Yeah,
I gotta clear out the shed, and I'll just work on one at a time.
Yeah.
I'd really like to set all 3 up and do them all at once, because that's just how I roll. Like once I start something, I want to just go hammer and tong.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I'm not going to be able to. So I'll probably pull the 6-foot tank in there in the next few days, finish that one, put that one in the fish room. The only problem is I won't be able to fill the 6-foot until all 3 are finished. So maybe that's 4, not 3. Maybe if I finish one, it will be motivation to finish the other 2, because I can't put the legs in until all 3 are in, because the legs sit in front of the tanks.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll have to actually finish all 3 and then finish the rack, because the rack's not actually finished. And then I'll be able to fill them.
It is a mountain of work, but once they're all in, it's going to be amazing in there. The room is going to look like an actual shop or an aquarium or something like that. It's going to be so good. Not to mention you'll have so much
it'll look
extra
finished.
room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you'll have to build a whole nother fish room because you'll have no other projects to do.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
And
Are you worried? Are you worried about finishing your last couple of major projects and then needing something else to do?
Oh, there's always another project.
True.
I'm actually scared about extending. We've already got an 8-foot outside the fish room.
Yeah.
So fun fact for anybody who doesn't know, the 2 IBCs and the 1 8-foot, if I leave that running over winter, those 3 tubs will use more electricity than my whole fish room. I was talking to someone yesterday, and he said last winter his power bill was $2,500 for 60 days.
Wow, that's crazy.
So yeah, he was asking me some advice on how to bring that winter bill down.
I'm certainly keen to move out of home so I can start heating the room and all that. I'm quite sick of little heaters and all the things so it's happened a lot lately, but I've just knocked the power boards and I've noticed that cords have come out, and then I've put my hand in certain heaters and it's really cold. I'm like, oh, track it back and the actual thing's not plugged in. So
Oh, really?
if the room was heated, at least I would, be able to feel it. But
Well, so like another advantage, what since talking about power boards, if you heat the room and you have a central air system, all of a sudden you're eliminating in your fish room. You're probably eliminating 20 power points
yeah, that's
at a
huge.
guess.
That's huge for me because I certainly am a bit concerned about overloading here and a bit of a fire risk and stuff, especially because like I run some pretty high powered lights and all that, so the drawer is pretty big. So if I can cut out all those power points and power boards and that would be the dream.
Yeah. So I used to run an oil heater, one of those bar heaters. That was like semi okay. It probably used a little bit less than in tank heaters, but it definitely wasn't crazy efficient. And then I swapped to a standalone reverse cycle aircon. It's actually in this room.
Yeah,
It's
the
right
7.
there.
Oh yeah.
And that thing was better, but nothing compared to the reverse cycle on the wall. Because I
Yeah.
think that those little ones, they stay on the whole time, or they I can't remember. Oh no, I think it's the other way around. The little ones kick on and off. So when they kick on, they draw a huge amount of power or something.
Yep.
Whereas the reverse cycles on the wall, they never actually turn off. So even though they're using like residual power, they don't have that big draw like every hour like the little ones. I think that's
Yeah,
how
that
it
makes
works.
sense. Just because the stream is titled Funday Q&A, we're hoping for some questions in the chat and might just go through and address everyone. I noticed a few people were saying hello, like Chevy, g'day.
See, this is why I've got Blake helping me on my stream, because I'm a little bit of a loose cannon and I don't take care of the housekeeping.
It's 11 a.m. where I am. 9 a.m. where Rumble is, I think.
Yeah, 9 a.m.
Yeah.
There's heaps of new names in the chat. Good to see. Huge shout out to Fisher and Fever for sending everyone over.
Yeah, my thing is never updates correctly on how many people are here, so I'm not even gonna attempt to say there's X people here because I'll get called out in the chat for it.
Mine says 23, 24.
Oh, that's a good effort.
Yeah, it's a good start, especially on a Sunday morning, or I guess it's Saturday night overseas. But so yeah, that was the idea of the live stream. So if anybody does have questions, feel free to ask them. I kind of wanted to do like a have you ever seen that TV show, and it's like questions the questions you shouldn't ask or something? It's like an ABC show.
Oh no, is it like a controversy sort of thing?
It's basically like as an example, they like get a Paralympian on the show and they ask questions that you would be rude to ask that person.
Right.
Oh, good day, Jono.
G'day, Jono. How you going?
So yeah, I was like kind of thinking like what questions could you build up that you could ask a fish keeper that you shouldn't normally ask? But
Yeah.
maybe next time we'll do a list and like you can ask me the questions and I'll think of some
like
dodgy
you would
questions.
probably ask me how I got so good looking and all that, and I'd be like, oh, you can't ask me that, yeah, I've got 23 likes on my end, but who knows? what their real number is.
22 at mine.
G'day, Blackie.
Hey, Dr. Black. Zen. Less than. I think the whole daylight saving stuff has messed everything up with the time differences, because we don't have daylight savings here in WA. So I don't know how many places in the world don't have daylight savings, but I guess we're kind of backwards compared to everyone else.
The only other one that I know of is Hawaii and Queensland. I'm sure.
Oh,
there might be
Queensland doesn't.
Yeah.
We had it for like 3 years, and they like trialed it, and then they canned it for some reason.
It's good. It's confusing as. I hate it.
Yeah, the problem I found when daylight savings kicks in, like I'm always working on projects outside or in the shed, and I sort of go by the sun.
Yeah.
And when daylight savings kicked in, I found I was like working outside till 8 o'clock and not having dinner till like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and then like I was just crazy tired all the time.
It's interesting though when you get in amongst the project. Like yesterday, I was doing stuff in here, making all these videos and just doing some general maintenance. And I looked at my watch. It was like 3:30. I hadn't had breakfast, lunch, or anything. I was like, oh man, I should probably eat something. And then if I do, it'll be ruin my dinner. So I'll just keep going and we'll wait for dinner then.
Yeah, you're like me. I didn't have lunch yesterday.
Yeah.
Once you got your mind on a project, and then you finish the project, and you're like, "Why does my head hurt? Why have I got a headache?"
Yeah, exactly right. But yeah, I'm just on a bit of a blitz to try and get rid of all the duckweed around here. You don't have any duckweed, do you?
Hey, don't swear at my house. No, I don't have duckweed, and I would like to keep it that way. No, actually, there was duckweed with the guppies, and it died.
Oh, that's good.
That's because yeah, it didn't actually die. It like went up the sides of the glass and dried out. Have you seen that before?
Yeah, yeah. Do you know a lot of people dry it out on purpose and eat it?
Really?
Yeah,
Is
I
it
think
like a superfood?
yeah, it's like one of those spirulina type things.
Yeah, right.
Because one time when I was selling someone on eBay, because I used to make actually a fair bit of money selling duckweed on eBay. Who would have thought? But and one person complained once and said that some of it died. I said, just put it in your fish tank, and I guarantee it will live. And she's like, I don't have a fish tank. I'm using it to eat. It's like, oh, what?
So Chevy fish, I have styrofoam between my stands and my tanks. I only use 10 mil styrofoam, or what's that, ½ inch. I don't use ply or anything. I only have styrofoam under every tank. I know some people like to use ply, but for me, if you get a piece of 18 mil ply and you stand on it, you can like feel how much it flexes. So you think about how much weight a fish tank is. That ply is doing absolutely nothing, because in the middle where you want the extra support, it's actually just flexing. That's my theory anyway.
And I use these yoga mat tile thingies. This is
always got a bit on hand.
I mean, I'm sitting right next to a tank, so I just ripped off the edge.
And also, I don't use full sheets. I use 50 mil strips because I'm that cheap. G'day, Fishy Fun.
Awesome, then. I'm so glad that the Angel's produced for you. I've actually got a whole other batch going as well, so it must have been the time for them. But that's really great. Hopefully you got the baby bride happening. Maybe you're on top chat, Rumble. That's a bit of a trap for young players.
Yeah, I can see it. Angel babies, that's a fish I've never bred. It's definitely on the bucket list, just because every fish needs to be bred.
I'll send a couple over. You can send me a female ray. That's probably fair.
I was actually that tank I set up for my brother-in-law. I was there 2 days ago, and I was looking, and I was like, "There's a pair of angels in there. Shame if they went missing."
Do you
But
not have those 5 red-headed ones that you got
nah,
anymore? Too
they
too
they
evil.
got banished.
Yeah, fair call.
I just put them in a tank with Africans, and they disappeared.
Oh no. They went the way of the
uh,
Fahaka.
yeah, I was so angry at those fish.
Yeah, that's probably a
Oh,
fair
and
call.
what's concreted that in a way. When I was at the brother-in-law's, I noticed a couple of his gouramis had nipped tails. So I'm pretty sure that would be the angels.
Yeah, okay. Gouramis. Gouramis are so funny when they have their little feelers, like they fight like pointing at each other.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, I used to
Um,
have
I've
like a whole dwarf gourami tank. It was pretty fun, but
I've
yeah.
never actually had them, but seeing them the other day, like they've kind of got one of each of the
Mm.
common ones. That I told them they need a chocolate gourami because they're ugly cute.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, I'm lying. I said I've never had gouramis. I've had chocolate gouramis before.
You do have
Um,
a gourami now.
oh yeah, just this really big one.
um,
Um,
but I really want to get amongst some sparkling gouramis, like real tiny, wild looking fellas.
I'll have to Google that.
Whilst you do,
I
G'day
saw there's a
Fishing Front
question in the chat.
57. Apparently, there's a big duckweed agriculture market. How would you clean
So
it?
the
Not sure. Probably rinse it, I guess.
so Jade and the Daphne, I gave up. I think from everybody I've spoke to, the way to be like proper successful is to use an IBC, and I can't sacrifice that much space when I just hatch brine shrimp. It's easier.
Yeah.
I think so. I set up the 200-liter tub with the chiller because obviously they won't survive through summer. But I think maybe the copper piping or something killed them, like the leaching into the water. But I managed to keep the water at 20 degrees Celsius, and they still died. And that was like my 4th revision on my Daphnia culture, and 4 revisions is too many for me.
Croaking gouramis are better. But I thought they get a bit bigger. I really want like a nano bookshelf tank. That's what I've got in my mind anyway.
Oh wow, the sparkling gouramis don't have the same body shape or anything.
Nah, they're pretty cool. They're still a bubble nest breeder and all that. I just since we're talking about angels, you know, I had that huge tank with the grow out. I've moved half of them into each of the planted 4 foots because can't be bothered selling any of them. So I'll
Yeah.
cord keeps getting tangled, but yeah, you can see how big they are. Getting pretty big now, so they're in with those rainbows and stuff. They look like we might have some pretty nice ones. I like when they get the orange on the head.
They look like they're good, close to 5 centimeters, hey?
Maybe like in diameter, maybe 3. So the camera might be doing it justice there, but
The old camera trick.
yeah, camera adds 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Should make
I
it
find it
about a
hard.
5.1 pound fish.
Yeah, I find it hard, especially trying to take photos of the flower horns, because the camera, even the one to one zoom, it's the camera like stretches their bodies a bit,
Yeah.
and like a stretched flower horn is the complete opposite to what you want.
Now I've lost the angle now. See if that
Oh,
works.
Zen says she wants a paradise fish. I had one of them when I first got into fish. I can't remember. I probably didn't have a filter or something silly.
Yeah, I'd be down for some paradise fish. I was thinking I might try them in a pond next year, breed some out.
But I'm definitely keen on getting the other ones, the fake rainbows. Can't remember what they're called.
Like honey blue eyes or
Yeah,
luminatus pseudomogals or something.
yeah, pseudomogals. That's the one.
Yeah, a lot of people getting behind my sparkling gourami chat. They are the ones with the blue eyes and fishy fun. That's so cool. I'm thinking 6 as well would be a good number, and like the blue eyes and clown killies and a bunch of these other little fish. I like just looking in the fish room with all the lights off and a torch. Sometimes I do it like to see if there's anyone's on eggs and stuff like that, but occasionally if it's a fish like that, I just like shining a torch on them, seeing what they look like at night. And usually fish come towards the light as well, so it's a good way to catch them at night if you struggle.
So you actually made me think of something there. Using a torch is how I used to catch fish when I had my 8-foot African display with all the caves and stuff.
Yeah.
I used to actually turn the lights off and then come in, and like I would have a torch with like my hand half covered, just like a little bit of light showing, and
Yeah.
like try to net the fish.
Well, especially
Which,
like a lot of these planter tanks, I'd have to dig the whole thing up to get a lot of the fish, especially like a little rummy nose tetra or something. Like, there's no chance, but under the cover of darkness, you can sometimes get away with it.
yeah. And on that subject, that's a good segue to one of my future projects, which I'll be doing in the next week or so, probably week. So, the 8-foot with the flower horns in it, 3 to 5 centimeters, I guess I would say. We need to start culling them because they're getting to the size where I can see ones that I don't want to keep. Catching fish in an 8-foot tank that's like about 14 foot above the ground is going to be quite difficult. So I've decided I'm going to do a DIY fish trap. I have no idea how yet. I've done no research. I've just decided that's what I'm going to do.
Can I tell you?
Have you done one, Blake?
I've made one before, yeah. I've got another example.
I feel like it's just like you've got like a hat next to you and you're just like putting your arm down in the hat and pulling stuff out.
It's like a magician's hat here, the top hat. Well, I've got half of an example. Wait. Anyway, you get yourself just a classic Coke bottle, probably a bigger one. You need the entrance to be big enough. You just cut it here, flip the lid inside out, like inside it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And they swim
Is it
and
that simple?
they can't get out. Yeah. I did it
How do
once.
they not get out? They just got to swim to the spot.
It's, more easier said than done, I guess. But yeah, just put some little fish food in there. And yeah, I'm not quite as good as Aquamate yet, Blackie. I'll have to go grab a few hats in a minute. But I'm going by his excellent tutelage.
I wonder if because there's so many fish in that tank, I wonder if I would need to put some ventilation in it just because they might go in there and if I don't pick it up till the next day, there'd be like ammonia spikes in the bottle.
Yeah, you'd probably drill a whole bunch of holes or something, but you'd be surprised how quickly it works. Like, I just put it in. I used to have a tank with like guppies, platies, and cories or something, and there was just too many fish. So I just chopped in there. I came back like 10 minutes later. Every single fish was in there. So if you put some of their food in there, they'll go in, and just keep coming back every few minutes.
Yeah, maybe I'll just do it and wait an hour. I won't.
Yeah.
I was thinking I would have to put it in before I went to bed, and then before I went to work, and leave it in there for the day and empty it when I got home.
Oh no! Especially if you put some bloodworms or whatever their favorite food is, something that gets the motor running, that'll be fine.
And their flower horns, they don't have a favorite food. They'll eat anything at all.
Other fish is their favorite food, is it?
Yeah. No, that's the barramundi. He loves a good
Oh, yeah, I think that's
what's that?
right. Fishy fun. That's why I went down the wormhole and researched about them. I think because I had a bit of a planaria breakout. That's all sorted now, but I still want to get some of them fish just for the fun of it.
Oh, g'day, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Wishes Julia Chromis would go into a trap.
Maybe because
You
they
know,
live in traps.
they know how to get out.
Yeah.
I know some of the Tanganyikans can be super hard because you've got caves and shells and all that sort of stuff. As soon as you try to catch them, they just retreat.
Yeah, that would be hard. Do you have to just pick up the shells? Like with bristlenose, I just pick up the whole cave and often the adults just stay in there.
So I'll tell you a story. One time I bought, I can't remember their full name, Similus, the little, the same as Maltese, the little Tanganyikan shell dweller.
Yeah.
And I paid like 200 for like a colony of 30 or whatever. And they arrived. I picked them up from the airport. They were from over east. And then I opened the package and there's like 20 odd shells in the bag with the fish. And like you
Yeah.
couldn't see the fish. All I could see was shells. And then I get a message from the guy that I bought him off, and he's like, "Oh, you owe me another $50 for the shells." And I was like, "What do you mean? I bought the fish. We've already done the sale." And he's like, "Oh, I couldn't get the fish out of the sale, the fish out of the shells. So I paid $50 for the shells. So if you could just reimburse me that $50."
Yeah, sorry, but it's not happening, mate.
I was like, I think I ended up like bargaining with him, and I was like, "Look, I'm annoyed you've done this, but I'll give you $20 just to shut you up." But yeah, I think that's one of those stories that will stick with me. Like you have some interesting ones in fish keeping, that's
Oh
for sure.
yeah, for sure. I had somebody sending me pictures of their chicken dinner or something like. I don't know, because I like talking fish a lot, but then it just seems like some people think all of a sudden they can just tell you about their world issues and everything that's going on. It's like, nah,
What is that? Somebody you bought fish off?
yeah, I just always seem to have these hangers on. And actually, one time I got a real stalkery type one. I probably shouldn't say this on the internet, but yeah, and I just my missus was like, could see I was getting annoyed, like messages all day, every day. Like, she's like, just stop replying. I was like, hey, I'll stop replying. Then he sent me a photo of my own car. I was like, oh my God, what is going on here? So I just blocked.
um,
I blocked and whatever it is, deleted or whatever. And then a new account messaged me and it was that same person again. So I was like,
wow,
I blocked that one
that's
again. And
crazy.
I've always expected to see like a new one come up, but I guess that was the straw that broke the camel's back. But that was tricky. That was weird.
Thirsty's in town. Good day, mate.
Hey, Thirsty.
So while we're talking about sales, somebody I know, I'm not going to mention names, was buying a coffee table off Gumtree. So he went to the house and like got the coffee table, went home, and then like 10 o'clock that night, this is a middle-aged woman, probably like I think maybe 15, 20 years older than him. He gets a message at like 10 o'clock at night from this Gumtree sale saying, "Hey, what are you up to?"
Oh no.
Next thing you know, he's going around there for a little bit of hanky panky off a Gumtree sale.
Little bit of social non-distancing.
Oh yeah, this was years ago. But
JRB, I actually enjoy when it's a young kid, that has a bit of go about him. I can't remember where I spoke about it on a live stream. Maybe I had a similar thing once. There was an 8-year-old kid, and he was wanting some betters to breed, and he was using money that he got from breeding chickens and stuff. So I don't mind rewarding a little go getter. He's making his own little businesses and stuff.
Yeah. I've had a couple of kids come around, and they seem to be more organized than the adults.
Yeah. Yeah, this one, he was like, "Oh, I like angels, betters, all these things," and he just wanted one of everything. And I was like, "Oh, that's okay." But his mum was like, "No, you can't spend that much money," and he's like, "I've got the money." I said, "Tell you what, just whatever the amount was for the initial thing that you came for, you can just have the rest thrown in because good on you." So, like, I'm not saying that to pump up my own tires or anything. I just like it. Kids are the future of the hobby, so we've got to keep them around, I reckon.
Yeah. Or the other one is it actually happened yesterday. A bloke, like someone comes around and they're like in the fish room for a good 45 minutes just talking rubbish. And then they go to, "Oh, I better go. The wife's in the car." And it's like, you're going to be in trouble when you get back to the car. She's
Yeah,
been sitting there for 45 minutes thinking you're going to be 2 minutes.
yeah, just gas bagging. That's
It's
going.
always the way it goes, but
Yeah, I actually love the non-contact drop off at the moment because I don't have to show anyone in the house, so it's really good. I just leave it out the front in a styrofoam box, and
yeah,
job done.
I've done a bit of a mix of both. It kind of depends if I know the person or not, but basically the people I have had in the fish room, I open the side gate before they get here, so they're not touching any door handles or anything.
Yeah,
And then just go to the fish room and just open the door for them. And like in the fish room, you're pretty much, it's hard to, for me, I just sort of let them have a look and try and steer clear.
yeah.
But one guy tried to shake my hand yesterday, and I was like, "Nope, sorry."
What hole have you been living in for the last month?
Yeah. Actually,
Big
I
J.
can't show.
Yeah, she probably drove
Yesterday,
off. He probably had to walk home.
yesterday I did a Snapchat, and it was like me spraying money with alcohol. But yeah, so the other problem is, right? I've made plenty of cash sales since this has been happening. Everyone's bored at home. I've sold more fish than usual,
Yeah,
but I can't. I've got to go to the ATM and deposit the money in because I can't use cash anywhere.
true. Having I've just
Um,
been getting him to transfer me. Like I just give him my bank details and stuff or my PayPal.
yeah, one person did that, but I guess I just don't trust people enough.
Yeah, that's a fair enough call.
There was actually a post on a Perth page last week, and a guy, Living Discus, Carlos, shout
Yeah.
outs to him. Somebody did a bank transfer in front of him, and then when they got in the car, they cancelled the transaction.
Yeah, that's pretty dodge.
Yeah. So he ended up shaming them on Facebook, and they gave him the money.
Hey, Ryan got sneezed on the other day. Yikes.
Oh yeah, he's telling me about that. What am I doing?
Yeah, it is hard sometimes, Thirsty, to not shake hands. Or like when I had this fish dropped off to my door, like they drove over an hour, and I just sort of said through the window, "Leave it at the doorstep." I felt like a bit of a rude person, but I don't know how many doorsteps they've been to that day and all that.
Yeah, especially like if they're driving an hour, they're probably stopping a few places.
Yeah, and like with not so much me because I'm just at home, but with my wife at aged care and stuff. Like if it rolls through there, a
Yeah,
handshake could be some people's life potentially.
yeah, it's crazy stuff.
But I think we are
Yeah,
getting over it. Australia, we're dominating it over here.
Yeah, I've kind of stopped watching it just because it is just kind of bringing me down. But
Yeah.
from what I've heard, it has been quite a lot less, lot less people getting it in the nightly cases.
Yeah, I'm definitely avoiding all the articles, over analyzing everything as well. But the only thing I look up is every now and then, like I see on Twitter these graphs of the world situation. Like I'm not reading a whole thing, but I'm looking at a graph snapshot. That's easy enough for me.
Yeah.
Hello, Aquaballs.
G'day, mate. Doing water changes. Sorry, but I don't miss that. So, one thing you said to me, Blake, I was like, why don't you go auto? And you said if you went auto, you'd probably become complacent with the other tank maintenance.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
So I was looking in
Plus, for
the
me,
tanks
sometimes
yesterday, and
you go.
for you, what? No, you go.
For me, sometimes it's better to do less water changes because, like, high nitrates are decent fertilizer for the plants. Like, the main reason a lot of these tanks I actually change water is not to reduce nitrates. It's mainly to like bring in the other micronutrients that the plants have absorbed, like the iron, zinc, and all that.
Yeah.
Because barely ever, maybe now that I've moved all these angels in, but before the hand, barely ever did I have more than 20 parts per million nitrates.
I definitely think so. I've never read anything about this, but I've talked to Paul at Morley Aquariums about nitrates, and well, I tell you what, I have read about how much they impact the fish, and um, like nitrates can be as high as like 180 ppm before they start affecting fish,
Mm.
and like most stingray tanks, freshwater stingrays, the nitrates are actually off the charts. You can't register them. But the reason they become a thing is because in a stingray tank, your nitrates are climbing really fast. So your water might be good for other things you're not testing, like you're saying, like minerals and stuff in the water. So the nitrate in general is like an indicator that you need to water change, but it's generally for stuff that you don't actually measure. Also, like the hormones that the fish release and stuff in the water.
Yeah.
But so like if you've got a stingray tank with high nitrates, you're still water changing weekly, so you're keeping all the other things under control. Whereas if you have a tank that's low stock, and then you don't water change for like 4 months, or not low stock, medium stock, we'll say low plants, and the nitrates end up to like 200 ppm over 4 weeks, then you start seeing trouble. You blame the nitrates because that's what you're seeing on the test, whereas it's actually like the total dissolved organics and things like that in the water that you're not testing that is actually the problem.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I've actually just because we're talking about stingrays being high producers, I've got some um terrestrial plants in the top of the stingray tank now, which seem to be doing pretty well. The silver dollars did eat some of their roots, just the longer ones, but
Yeah.
they're like really fast growing. So they're creeping fig and what's the other one? Pen, a type of ivy anyway, and really fast growing. So I take that as they're going to just suck the nitrates out of it, which I think will really help the filtration on the stingrays.
I'm just Googling the plants. So that creeping fig, that looks more like an outdoor plant. Does it go all right inside?
Yeah, they're pretty much impossible to kill those things. Like very invasive.
So you're telling me that it might be a plant I might be able to grow?
Yeah, you could grow that. What's the other one called?
um,
Ivy. I'll look it up. Not English.
that little pathos in the fish room, it's got another new leaf, but it hasn't grown in size. It's just shooting little leaves.
Oh, nice. I think the other one might be English ivy.
English ivy. But yeah, I actually should move for a bit. Let's go have a look. Um, I planned to show my planted tank on this live stream.
You should have made yourself large before you did.
Don't make me make all these bad decisions.
You'll be racking up the steps today. Jono, I have a video on my saltwater tank today. Edited and in the queue, ready to go. I think 5:30 it'll tick over.
I don't really know how to do it.
The top left corner of your box down the bottom.
Hey, look at that. Big screen. I know how to use StreamYard. I'm a pro.
I can pick my nose now and nobody will know.
Oh, you're not allowed to pick your nose. Coronavirus. I've got a picture that will be a light deflector because the light is so bright that it actually, you can't see the tank in the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got a dirty lens.
And yeah, that's
Has
right.
anybody noticed?
That's the CPD
Do you get
tank.
that? Do you get that on your Samsung, Blake? Like the camera needs a clean like every time you use it?
Yep, absolutely. The front-facing camera is worst as well because it's got such a small lens area.
I've got a lot of floating Rotalis, but I give up. What's
Looks
in the
like
ground now is staying in the ground.
The Corys have had a bit of a ball overnight by the looks. Zoom in on those guys in the bottom right corner. Let's have a look at them.
That's I don't know if these guys will stay in here because they might end up harassing the discus.
Cool.
But they got some crazy blue.
I've had those in with my discus before.
Yeah.
They're fine. They're pretty peaceful.
I think the only problem will be is if they pair off, maybe.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
But if they pair off, I'll put them in their own tank. But I think it looks like there's definitely two males, so I think that little one might be a female. Probably still too early to tell, but it's definitely got rounded fins compared to the other two. But I ain't no Akara sexing expert. The discus is going all right.
I saw some at the fish store. What day was it? Wednesday, and I was very keen to get it, but they weren't the straight neon blue Akaras. They were neon blues mixed with the normal Akara, so like they had dark stripes and stuff. It was pretty cool, but
okay.
I wasn't exactly sure how they would grow up, so I didn't bother. But be a good experiment though.
My discus have decided to hide, but they've been hiding a little bit since I rearranged the tank. But if you look at I don't know what that one's called, but the peppering has actually reduced since the plants have started growing more, which is a good sign. That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah, awesome.
But I think I'm going to give up on this Braziliensis. I'm going to try something different.
Yeah, it doesn't look to be doing too well.
Nah, it's
a bit dead.
It's alive. That's about all. And then it's like shooting, and then it gets like new shoots, but even the new shoots have got algae on them. It's like it just doesn't grow quite fast enough. Like it needs the growth to combat the algae. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. Ash was saying maybe I should just trim it back really hard because look, there's all shoots there, and there's shoots coming off that one. So I don't know. Maybe one day it will miraculously get better.
I mean, you can give it a go, but it's just difficult trimming it back so hard because it's such a deep tank.
Yeah, I don't know how I will do it. But yeah, probably have to drop the water level. And the moss isn't doing well. Or I'm semi-surprised. Somebody said it doesn't like high intensity light, and that is about as bright as it's going to get right there. But I thought like maybe the one, you can't really see it in the camera, but there's one down there that's not in the bright light as much. I thought that might do well, but just this brown algae, I can't beat it.
Yeah, it's an odd one. Can't really get. Can you get really close to it? Because it kind of looks like blackbeard algae, brother.
No, I don't think it's black, dude.
Looks like maybe it's like staghorn or some other type of algae. Let me see. Staghorn algae. Sure, there's some algae experts in the chat.
Yeah, I can't see the chat. I want to get more of those guys, the Serbia or something. The Corys. Is it Serbia?
Stir by, yeah.
Serbia. You can see the two of them sitting down just there.
Dragon layer. I don't know what it's like in WA, but in Victoria, nearite snails are so expensive. They're like $20 each, or $12 each, or one of those. He said put some nearite snails in there.
Oh, okay.
So they're like guns at eating algae.
I don't know what it is. It almost I don't know if it is like just brown algae. It might be right. It might be something different because like if you look, I can't zoom in. I'm literally just zooming in on the browser. It almost looks like brown furry, and then it's almost like it's got a film over the top of it.
Yeah, I reckon it is blackbeard algae personally, but
I'll try to get some better photos of it.
yeah, chuck a few Siamese algae eaters in there, see what happens.
But yeah, it's weird. Like it's even on the Vallis a little bit.
Yeah, well that makes sense
know.
because Val can get blackbeard on it.
So like if you look at I always thought brown algae doesn't do well in high light.
Yeah.
And like these two pieces here, they're only like 10 inches deep in the water, and that light is 400 watts.
Yeah.
I couldn't see brown algae surviving in that.
I don't know. Algae is a survivor.
I thought it didn't do well in high light.
Oh no, it definitely does.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah, like it's I kind of covered it in the video. Like high light in itself doesn't get rid of it. You also have to bring up the nutrients. You have to bring up the CO2. Like, yeah. It's kind of like if you have a dinner plate and you say, not high protein. If you say like, oh, humans will be healthy with fats, proteins, and whatever else, and then you just load up a plate with a stick of butter, like you're not going to be healthy because it's just the fat component.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't know because it might be blackbeard, you know.
Yeah, that would be my guess. Oh, Dragonair's got the hookup, free nearite snails. Shoot him over here. I'm sure quarantine wouldn't have an issue with that.
Sand Creek Aquatics, do you mean like cover it as in no light for a few days? Yeah, I don't know. Like the black.
I just did a test a water test while you were talking because I was interested in the stingrays. It's
um,
about 25 parts per million.
wow, that's low.
Plants, mate. I reckon that's the key to everything. Plants. Don't feed plants butter. You might need a surface skimmer to slick off the oil. Did you notice that I started to say if you fill up the plate with only protein, you won't be healthy, but I think maybe you would be. I'm not really sure. The
Is
analogy
that
works anyway.
isn't that a keto diet?
Yeah. Butter steak.
I don't know. I think it might be Blackbeard, but
Yeah.
I always thought it was just brown algae because it's brown. But looking at a photo of brown algae doesn't fur up like that, eh?
Yeah, and it just stays along the glass and the top of the substrate and stuff usually. That diatom algae.
Now I'm gonna have to watch your video about the algae.
Yeah. I'd just rip in about 6 Siamese alligators in there and just wait.
When they I thought the Siamese alligators are the ones that hassle the discus.
Oh no, that's Chinese
Not
alligators.
hassle. Oh, okay, yeah. Are they really that effective?
Yeah, I love them. They're the best.
Righto, it looks like we're getting Siamese alligators.
But make sure that you get real ones because don't get like flying foxes or Chinese alligators or whatever the other ones are called. Line alligator. False flying fox.
One of the loaches eats it as well, hey?
Don't know. Hillstream loaches eat some algae, but I don't know if they eat blackbeard.
I know because one of the loaches we have in Australia that's quite common here is actually not very common over the other side of the world. I
Yeah,
can't remember
dojo
which type it
loaches.
is. Yeah, I think that's the one.
They're illegal to keep here, I think. Leather loach / dojo loach.
No, I don't think it's that one. It was a more common one.
Oh.
Like common in Australia. It was like because normally everything that's common overseas is uncommon here, but it was like backwards.
Yeah. Well, let me think about the common ones here. Like obviously clown loaches, but they're everywhere. Yo-yo loaches, chain loaches, coolie loaches.
Coolie loach.
Oh, okay.
That's the one.
I don't think they eat blackbeard. Let me check the Google machine.
All right. So at least I guess if I can identify the right algae now, it should make I should make a difference to my plant keeping experience. I never would have thought it was Blackbeard, but I've had Blackbeard before and it was like really black.
Yeah, it can go down to red. Like when it's nearly dead, it goes to red.
Yeah, right. I'll get a couple of like good photos of it and share them with you after the stream anyway, and I might ask Ash as well to make sure it's definitely that.
Yeah, no worries. Like I was going off a tiny screen and all that here, so it'd be good to have a look at it. Yeah, but unfortunately, blackbeard and it's kind of one of the hardest algae to get under control. So you've got your work cut out for you. Aquamate knows that. He's in the chat. He loves blackbeard algae. Hey Jesse, welcome to the stream.
And I don't know. I definitely didn't think it was that, but I think it is. It's just the coverage on mine is that thick that it doesn't look like it's clumping like the photos you see on Google.
Ah, yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah, there's some photos here that look like you say red. There's brown. There's clumps. There's lines. There's definitely a few different varieties
a lot of
or
people in
styles.
Australia swear by Aquapix No More Blackbeard, but
Yeah,
obviously it didn't work for me, but it might for you.
I'll have a chat to him. It's actually on the screen here. When I Google Blackbeard, no more Blackbeard. I used to use a lot of Aquafix products, and from the products I've used, they are really good. The reason I stopped is just because of the price.
Yeah, yeah. Accurate. I've triggered him.
Sand Creek Aquatics. I'll post a photo on my Facebook page later on today. So, all the algae ID people out there, feel free to drop a comment on the photo on my Facebook page, which I can link. I don't even know what the link is.
I've already done it.
Have you? Look
Yeah.
at that.
Put an
I
extra
can't see it
capital
yet.
letter in there for you, but it won't pop up on the StreamYard for a couple minutes.
Is it that far behind?
Yeah.
I tried to look it up and it said this page isn't available.
Florida flagfish are cool. GRB, where do you get them from? Because I've looked for them a while ago and I couldn't find any. If you got a good, you can't post a link.
So you know what? One interesting thing about this pandemic is it's hard to find stuff that are involved in hobbies because everybody's buying everything.
Yeah, and I noticed that like Facebook Marketplace and Gumtree, nobody's listing anything anymore. I was hoping for some
Yeah,
of those, some cheap, you know. I'm actually in the market for a terrarium. I want a cheap terrarium, but there's none.
yeah. We were looking at getting some more chickens, and there's no chickens on Gumtree.
Just to roam around the backyard, or
No, I've got a chook pen
ah,
from many moons ago. So we started cleaning it out the other week. It's actually funny. We were cleaning out the chook pen like we're going to get more chooks. That same afternoon, Life of Sight uploads a video. We got new chickens, and I like message him. I was like, "How often are we doing the same thing?" Because like he hadn't mentioned chickens, I hadn't mentioned chickens, and next thing on the same day, we're making chook pens.
Jesse's also
Zen
getting
Ginger.
chickens.
No, not my personal Facebook. Did you drop a link, though?
Yeah, it's there.
Where?
Facebook.com/rumballsfish. Is it coming up?
No, not
Oh,
for
I
me.
know why it hasn't come up. You haven't moderated me. What are you doing, mate?
I don't think I've got any mods.
Zen's a mod.
Yeah, but
Dr.
Zen's a mod
Black's a mod.
everywhere. Is he?
Yeah.
Add to moderator. You don't get unless you ask, I guess.
Well, I can't do your link work for you.
So my dog is not very good with chickens either, Acclimate. That's why my chook pen is quite well fenced.
Yeah, my dog would not be good with chickens either. I'd love to have some though, but they'd be feathers across the backyard pretty quickly, I reckon.
So we had chickens at one stage. My dog got in the cage and he killed the chickens, but I think he just killed them playing with them.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
he was got excited and like they had a heart attack sort of thing. So I buried these two chickens in the chook pen. I just buried them under the ground. And then my dog broke into the chook pen again, dug the chickens up, and ate them. So yeah, but if we let the chickens out during the day on a Saturday, he's fine with them. I don't know, but like if he gets in the cage, he acts different to if they're out in the yard.
Yeah, right. I guess because he can chase them. Like if they're confined, he can't chase them.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what mine would do. Like he'd probably be fine if they were in an enclosed area, but as soon as the chickens got a run on, he would chase them
Yeah.
and catch them a bit aggressively. Like I don't think he would
Oh
really
wow.
mean it. It would just be a habit sort of thing.
Yeah. We've clicked over the 10 o'clock mark. Like
Time flies when
we
you're
got
having fun.
to jump off in a few minutes.
No worries. I should probably do some life jobs as well.
I got to get some search for some Siamese algae eaters. What do they even look like? I'm gonna Google them.
They're not the most attractive fish in the world. Just a plain fish with a black stripe.
Oh yeah, they look like a
Just laughing at
Okay.
Thirsty saying a chook would kill his dogs. I'd like to request more puppy content though, Thirsty. It has been a while since they've been featured.
Yeah, I haven't seen them for a while. That's actually a good point. Fishy fun. There is actually a chicken farm not far from me that I could buy chickens from, but I don't really want to support them
Yeah, fair call.
for humane reasons. It doesn't look like the nicest place.
Makes sense. Well, it might be a good. I might jump off now then. Go do some stuff.
Yeah, I'm going for a motorbike ride.
Nice. Well, yeah,
Bit of rain.
awesome chatting. It's always good. Thanks for having me on, and
Yeah,
hopefully,
thanks for coming on.
and yeah, I'll see you next time I'm looking at you.
I'll see you Thursday night. So
All right.
here's a bit of a plug. Blake's Aquatic, Thursday night, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard. Earlier, later.
Yeah. No, that's right. 4 p.m. your time.
Eastern.
Western Standard.
Western Standard Time. 6 p.m.
p.m.
Eastern Standard Time. Thursday night.
Only thing is, yeah, I might change it to Friday, but we'll see.
Oh well, if you change it to Friday, just check Thursday and it will tell you to come Friday.
Yeah, thanks. Cool.
Personally, I reckon keep it as Thursday.
All right.
But mind you, there's nothing. Nobody's going out at the moment, so it doesn't matter. But maybe once the pandemic's over, maybe go back to Thursday because, like Friday nights, we generally go out to dinner or something like that. So I guess a lot of people would be similar.
Yeah, that was
that.
the plan. Because like I'm right into sports and stuff too. Because I want to watch sports on Friday nights, but I figured just at the moment.
That's right. I remember you saying that.
Yeah, but at the moment there's nothing on Fridays, so maybe I'll do that. Anyway, we'll figure that out later. And thanks to everyone in the chat. I think it was a nice active chat today, so good on you. And All good. See you
All
next
right.
time. I'll leave you to it.
All right. See ya. I guess me too. I hope everyone enjoyed the live stream. Next week, same time is Aquamate. I don't know. I might even feature on his channel. Generally, we all just kick around on everybody's channel. And then I'll be back in a fortnight. And what's the date? Next fortnight will actually be a Patreon raffle. So, if you're wondering, so I generally do the Patreon raffle 30 minutes into. Oh, my phone's decided to turn off. 30 minutes into the live stream. So that would be 9:30 a.m. Western Standard Time. You can work out the rest. But I hope everyone enjoyed it. It was cool. There was heaps of activity in the chat. And Ryan messaged me about Siamese alligators. Apparently I need them. Peace out, guys.